Yeah, whenever you're ready, bro. Yeah. This is a check, a microphone check. Okay, DJ Scorpio Vision. I used to listen to this before basketball games in high school. That's how we got hypes back in my day. Where's the range? Doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, it does.
Keep the mic here, alright?
It'd be best.
Okay. Poets, if I can have your attention real quick. When you're up here performing, for the fact of the live stream, try not to move the microphone, right? Try to stay right here. Try to keep the microphone right here. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? How's everybody doing? Whoa, let's give it up. I want to welcome each and every one of you. Listen, I get some feedback here. I want to welcome each and every one of you to Signature Punch Training Center. And with Grow House, we are proud to present the GAB and Jab Poetry Slam. Just to let you know, this center is open to the community for all of you to come throughout the week. We have a state-of-the-art podcast studio here. We have a summer camp if you guys got kids and want to bring them out. Everything is going great. But that's not what we're here for tonight. Tonight we're here for some poetry. So without further ado, hailing all the way from New York City, Dennis Amadeus. It is still considered heaven's work from getting paid in hell. Down on earth, I've paved my way to a well that I couldn't even drink from, while people with unblistered feet sipped water from uncalloused hands, then laughed at my thirst, ate my offerings for dinner, then left me with the bill and the hearse. I needed a full course, but they just desserts. Savoring their flavor left my mouth dustier than the desert dirt, with just about as much life, but with just about as much light. A sun scorching on this situation that I was keeping myself in the dark for. I was told that there were no options, that the whole world was watching. So blinded by their glares, I just ended up mirroring their mirages. So I beg your pardon, but I'm done with all this friendship. You're either blood or you're willing to shed it. No more living on the fences for people that I don't even want on my estate. If you bring the soul food, then we can fix ourselves a plate. If you pour the concrete, then we can pave our own way. But I got a foundation to lay. I got family that needs safe places to stay. I got a heaven to build with only time to waste. So you can either get with it or you can get out of my way.
Come on.
Y'all ready to get with it tonight? Y'all ready to hear 10 incredible poets get free on this mic tonight? Then y'all came to the right place, y'all. Welcome to the Grow House main event, the GAB and Jab Poetry Slam. Y'all, tonight we have a full list. My name is Dennis Amadeus. I will be your referee and your host for the evening. But tonight we have an incredibly full list. We have 10 phenomenal poets, top of the best, pound for pound greatest, going to be coming in here, bringing you their best jabs, their best verbal hooks, all for y'all to have a great time, right? And to figure out who is going to leave this room with the crown of champion of the evening. Plus, not only do they get some money, but they get an opportunity to reserve a slot in our grand slam at the end of this year in December, which will be the biggest slam of all year. There'll be a championship belt that'll be worth big money. And yeah, man. So that's what we're gonna have for you tonight. We're gonna figure out how are these judges gonna be, or how are these poets gonna be scored. It's by 3 amazing judges, right? And those 3 judges are right here in our audience. First and foremost, I would like to introduce our first judge, the owner of this incredible establishment, Signature Punch, big lover of poetry. We're happy that you let us in here, man. Please clap it up for judge number 1, Gary. That's right. And our second judge is actually another special guest. She runs her own venue called LTM Creative Lounge over by USF area. It's awesome. They do arts events, they do vendor events, they do pop-ups. They have one actually tomorrow that's gonna be super dope. So make sure y'all talk to them about it. But please clap it up for judge number 2, Kima. And then we got our third judge, a personal, awesome friend of mine, a community worker, somebody who truly believes in the values of people working together and for themselves. She's always out here doing what's needed, and no matter what the crisis is that's happening in the world, because we got a new crisis like every other day, right? But I'm glad that she's here. Y'all, please clap it up for Shane. I'm judge number 3. All right, y'all. So those are our 3 judges. Poets, they don't seem to know any of the judges, because they want them to know the rain up here. Like, I know them, right? So, with that being said, judges, your job tonight is to judge these poets, right? You're going to judge them on a scale of 0 to 10. You get to 0 is for the really, really bad poetry, and 10 is for the really, really good poetry. Most of our poets are going to be somewhere in the middle, so please make them work for it, but also remember that we are here to enjoy this beautiful art of spoken word. So judges, if y'all got me, give me a thumbs up. Awesome job. Audience, your job is to show love to these poets, man. Please clap it up for that, man. So, what you're gonna do, there's a couple ways that you can show love. Outside of just being an amazing audience that y'all already have and whooping and cheering when they come up here, you can do the snap. Let me see y'all snap it up. Snap it up. You can do the church stomp here for the sermon, right? You can go ahead and stop it. You can stomp, right? You can do the grandma's cookies, right? You get some cookies in your mouth, what kind of sound you make? Same thing with poetry. You get a delicious chocolate chip morsel of poetry right out the oven of someone's soul. What sound you gonna make? Same thing. Or you can always do the classic, go in, poet!
Go in, poet.
Get free, poet!
Get free, poet.
All of those are viable ways to show support to the amazing artists that are going to come up here tonight. Are y'all ready to get this slam started? But first, 2 things. Number 1, I do want to give a small trigger warning. We don't typically do trigger warnings before poems, which is something that is common in the national state, but we do want to bring a general trigger warning. The poets that are coming up here tonight may be talking about very heavy themes, including sexual assault, racism, domestic violence, drug use, things of that nature. So if these are things that will trigger you or make you feel some type of way, we highly encourage y'all to take the time that you need. You don't have to sit here and be harmed just for the sake of supporting the poetry. You are completely allowed to remove yourself. There's space over here where you can get refreshments. If you need to walk outside, by all means. And if you need some help, we have amazing staff here that can maybe at least be there for you. We don't have any mental health counselors, but we just want to put that out there and forewarn y'all about some of the content that we could be coming up here. But if y'all are ready to hear these poets, let me hear you say, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me hear you say, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But first, we need to calibrate. Everybody say calibrate.
Calibrate.
That's right. We have a poet who will be coming up here to perform judges, your job is to judge this poet in the same way that we said, from 0 to 10. This poet is not a part of this slam, but they will be your calibration for the other poets afterwards. So if the poets after this poet are better than the poet, you're going to judge those higher. If the poets coming afterwards are worse than this poet, you're going to judge them lower, right? This is kind of your baseline. So if y'all ready to hear our sacrificial poet, let me hear you say, yeah!
Yeah!
Let me hear you say, oh yeah!
Oh yeah!
And clap it up for Grow House's own Gemini.
So precious, so clean, clean.
Bloodletting. You cannot shop here, she said, panic-stricken, grabbing her young instead of a purse. You cannot shop here. You have to leave, she said. This is no longer a safe place with you being here. I'm not saying that you're a criminal, no. I'm saying that your very presence brings danger. Please, I have children. Can you just leave and let us be in peace before you are in pieces? And we have to join you. His open carry, an open invitation to a mass execution that she wanted no part of. Open invitation every time I walk out the door, my very presence entices the reaper. It is not my darkness that they fear, no. The shadow that follows me everywhere I go. I was not surprised by her panic. It seems that death follows me, at least my kind. And I wanted to say that I have children too, but I never seem to be human enough to relate to. And they tell us not to call this genocide. No, this is not a massacre. No, this is just a little bloodletting. Getting out all of the toxins, just purification for this nation to make her pure again. This used to be a nice place before you moved in, they would say. But they forget. They forget that we are stolen treasure. Something that they fought for, something that they killed for, an entire civil war based on our very existence, not our freedom. But who had the most power? The most black bodies in their control? Black gold, liquid, living, cruel oil? No, this is not genocide. This is just a little bloodletting, a little bleeding out. The carpet rolled out red always for my kind. The sea of chocolate turned to blood, so please, she begged. Could you just leave here? This grocery store, this park, this neighborhood, this school, this church. It is not safe if you're being here. Damn it! I have children, a grandmother, family I want to see for Thanksgiving. I don't want to be in your shoes is what she meant to say. You're too slippery, covered in your own blood. And I don't want to get my hands dirty, so maybe this is why I wear my heart on my sleeve, to prove that I have one, to prove that maybe I am not a danger, that I am human too, that I deserve to live, that this hatred has not permeated through me. Don't worry. Before the end of this poem, before the end of the day, I will be talking about butterflies and clouds again. Because no one wants to see an angry black woman anyway. No, this is not a massacre. This is just purging. This, didn't I tell you? It would be over soon. Can't you see the black butterflies floating to heaven? Can't you see the clouds parting to welcome them? Can't you see the carpet is spotless now, all white? But don't fret, there is still an open invitation to a massacre. There is still so many of us left to purge.
Yeah, man, that's what we're here to do. Everybody say, get free, poet.
Get free, poet.
That's what we came to do, man. That's what poetry's about. I don't know why that keeps happening. Maybe I should just stop talking. But yeah, so, and I mean, that's one of the great examples of why we do what we do. I could be a little biased, but that's the sacrificial poet. But thank y'all, man, for being here and supporting poets who are getting their voice out and being able to talk about the current events that we're doing and dealing with, man. So, with that being said, I'll get the scores, judges. Y'all got the scores for Gemini Fox? All right, cool. If, all right, we'll get the scores for the sacrificial poet for the next round. If y'all are ready to hear your first poet in this first round, let me hear you say, ding, ding. Ding, ding. Y'all, please clap it up for Kennedy.
Clap it up for Kennedy!
If you look, you die. If you don't listen to me, you die. If you don't unlock the door and let me in, you are going to die. I am 11. And I'm holding back a 32-year-old struggling to keep her blindfold tight on her eyes so she can't see the demons behind the blinds. Our relationship. It's like you drive a car right into the road, and as I scream, stop it, we're falling off, I scream, I beg, I cry for help, but you can't hear me. No one can hear me. And in reality, the pillows are too far out of my reach, so I clean. I wipe off the surface of the table with Windex because I'm young and I'm dumb. And I think that maybe when you finally come out of the 3 locked doors separating the 2 of us, you'll thank me. And you'll be happy that your house is clean. Maybe you won't be mean if I cook some food for you and the human growing inside your stomach. I'm young and I'm dumb. And I don't know how to keep you from driving us into death, from driving yourself into death because you've seen these demons. You took your blindfold off and now you're tugging at mine saying, look at these beautiful creatures, so I do. I take off my blindfold because I'm supposed to listen to you, and it's funny. These demons that drive everyone to suicide don't look like monsters or murderers or any other mysterious creature of nightmare. These demons simply display the truth. So, as I sit next to you, as I pound on your door, as I wipe off the table, as I sweep the floor, as I look out the window, I finally see you. I see that the pills and the cries were all lies for attention. I see that you never cared about me. I see that you were never going to kill yourself. You were only going to kill me. And I guess that was my biggest fear all along, and I didn't even know it. I guess my biggest fear was you. Maybe that's why I became a poet. Maybe I started writing words as a way to escape. Maybe when you held my eyes open and forced me to suicidal thoughts and actions, I started pumping out pages of pain. Maybe I found myself living in this sort of messed up bird box paradox, and I was trying to save someone else while simultaneously subjecting myself to this acidic situation. I found myself trying to keep a car on the road when I wasn't the one behind the wheel. I found myself watching, waiting, as death came closer and closer, and I wondered, why didn't I just step out of the car? I was 11. I was young, and I was dumb, and now I am 17. And I'm still young, and I'm still dumb, and I still don't know how to keep myself safe. You taught me that if you let everyone into your safe house, someone will always put the birds in the freezer and kill you. So I constantly keep my door locked. You would think that would have knocked some sense into my head, but I keep climbing back in your car where the final destination is dead. It's funny. Our relationships work that way. How your best friend can make you want to end it all one day, and you can hate them for it. I mean, you should, really, but you don't. You love them still. Mama, I love you still. Why else would I keep coming back?
Make sure you turn your mic on. Make sure the mic is on. If it's not green here, the mic is not on. But I am going to not use that mic. I'm going to use this mic. I feel like it's easier, less feedback, right? You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. So, our sacrificial poet, Gemini Fox, who was just went, had a score of...
A 27.3, but after a time penalty of 1 point, a 26.3.
26.3? 26.3 after a time penalty. Everybody say, boo, time penalty. Boo. Hey, she had something to say. She ain't care about time. That's what she said. Right? All right, good. But applaud the poet, please. All right, y'all. From low to high for Kennedy, we have, I believe that's a, okay, 7.5. We move on to a 9.1 and a 9.2. Again, that's a 7.5, a 9.1, and a 9.2 for Kennedy. Applaud the poet. And keep that applause going for your second poet in this first round, Vaughn the poet.
How y'all doing? Family. Honestly, my dad. Honestly, I don't know where to start with this conversation of broken home with this so-called phone that's dead now to me. So honestly, if you actually love, you gotta show me, because my presence has died. Because people seem to fabricate stories on who say, she say, but they say can't get the story right. So is there a newspaper for anybody to read what's right? Somebody got to put in the right direction, because family seems to go on the sideline on reading or watching me because they can't seem to actually get the right picture now. I mean, I'm doing good for myself. I made it out of the car crash. Honestly, I could have died, but the light was there, so I seen MJ, but I think that was the time I could have actually scored points, but somebody missed and said I had a right chance to make it today. I mean, walk by faith, but not by sight. I can go back to this family each and every day, because that seems to be the broken home, or how you say strangers show you more love than that family. But hey, Dad, I know you see me as I'm 25 now, so forget the anticipation, as dedication seems to... Sorry, forgive me, my legs are shaking. My dad gave up his rights because he said he couldn't pay for that shit. So forgive me if he's watching from a distance. Like I said, that family tree's broken, presence is died. So you're gonna have to show me that love, because I said my presence is died. When will they learn to actually show that real love that they actually say they actually give? Show me, or you're gonna have to see that casket before 6 people carry. Thank you.
I appreciate y'all, audience. Audience, remember that the energy that you bring will be reciprocated by the poets on stage. So again, if you feel something you're feeling, go ahead and let people know that you're feeling it, man. Because that will always come back and make the show better for everybody, right? So don't be afraid to let it out. If somebody getting free, I feel that, brother. You know what I'm saying? You go ahead and say that, man. Maybe not that specifically. That's very intrusive. But go in, poet.
Go in, poet.
Is always a viable option. So with that being said, our last poet, Kennedy, had a score of...
A 25.8.
A 25.8 for Kennedy. Applaud the poet. And our poet from this round, or our poet from this poet, which is enough, from low to high, 7.5. We move on to an 8 and then a 9. Again, that's a 7.5, an 8, and a 9 for Vaughn the poet. Applaud the poet. And keep that applause going for your third poet in this first round, Unspoken! The
There are few things I hate more than the letter O. That smug, circular snake has done more to hurt me than most people ever could. It's a phonetic weapon used to tear me down and rip me apart by showing me that I don't truly belong. Because even though it doesn't go there, it insists on attaching itself to me, like a parasite that won't let go, or a tan that won't fade. My sun-kissed melanin flesh darkening my skin and my future as doors in front of me are slammed by people who want someone that looks like them. Taking my name, my history, my identity, and twisting it with their evil connotation until it means you're not one of us. But you already know that, don't you? Roberto. A single letter, a solitary syllable, spat in my face with the venom of hundreds of years of learned hatred. A vocal beat used to beat me into submission because I dared to be born Latino. Just like the brown stain covering my skin that not even 2 generations in this country can cover up. Because you see, it doesn't matter that I was born and raised in this country, or that I pledged the same pledge my white neighbors pledged every day growing up. It doesn't matter that I learned each and every state capital, or that I could name all of the dead presidents in order. That's just to distract you from the fact that I'm not really American. I'm Latin American. A distinction used to remind me that I'll always be a second-class citizen. Always ask where I'm really from. Always feeling like an outsider in the only home I've ever known. A home where my parents opened a small business, where I graduated high school and went to college, where I thought I had the same rights as everyone else because home is where I belong. I refuse to feel like an outsider in my own home. I reject that circular cynic and its attacks on my name. So the next time you feel the need to spit that hateful letter at me, shut your mouth and listen. I'm only going to say this once. My name is Robert.
Check. Little fresh up again. Hey, I just want to give a shout out to a couple of people, man. First and foremost, I got to shout out Joe Butler, man. He is our media person. He's the one that has us live right now on the live stream. He takes great videos. He sets up all of this amazing equipment for us to look really, really cool. And he also has a podcast studio, which is right up there. So if you want to do a podcast, or you already have a podcast and you need better equipment, you need a better environment, this is a great place to do it. Joe does an awesome job of making sure that you know what you're doing, that it's quality content. So that's something that they offer here, as well as Signature Punch. It's a boxing gym, incredible, one of the best gyms in the state of Florida. They do high-profile fights. They do local amateur fights. The other day, they did some frat boys beating each other up, and I got to be the host for it. It was really awesome. So they do really cool things in here, man. And so if that's something you're into, getting into shape. If you like fight sports, this is a great place to go. And I love to point out, it is a black-owned business right here in Ybor City. All the gentrification. So, and also, I want to shout out our amazing DJ Scorpio Vision. He's on the 1 and 2. And of course, our incredible, lovely sacrificial poet and score runner, Gemini Fox, y'all. With that being said, I should also score out, our scorekeeper who I'm about to talk to right now, Zen Christian Davis, is out here. Making sure that we're responsible with our scores and our times. All right, y'all. Our last poet, Vaughn the Poet, had a score of?
A 24.5.
A 24.5. Applaud the poet. And this poet, from low to high, for unspoken, he has an 8.9. We move on to a 9.0, and then a 9.1. Again, that's an 8.9. 9.0 and 9.1 for unspoken. Applaud the poet! And keep that applause going for your next poet in this first round, Kiki!
was younger, I loved being at the top of my class because it made her pay attention, and it would ease the tension, for she was indifferent to all other behaviors. But when I got good grades, she looked at me like her savior, and I just had to savor the moment because I knew that it couldn't be held, that once the sun sets, her affection would glow. So as I got older, I always aimed for the stars, and the stars I did reach. And trying to earn her love, this was my only form of speech. I always got A's. And yeah, I had plenty of bad days, but it was all worth it if it gave me importance. Any other time, I was considered a disturbance. But this way, she could see me in a positive light. This way, we wouldn't have so many fights. And I wondered, am I worthy yet? But as the years went on, my quest for perfection ceased to rest. I used to read novels for fun, but now I leave my books undone. I used to get mad, easy as 1, 2, 3, but now math has no letters in the books that I read, and I'm burnt out. Call it Fahrenheit 451, but this isn't the life I want to live, so please shoot that done. But it's all worth it if I'm no longer worthless. I've been conditioned to check more like a pet than a child with a kept composure on nice and mild. Just wag your tail and perform on demand. When the company leaves, go back to being bland because yeah, I'm trying to boast. But in reality, you just wanted something to post, so I guess I'm not worthy yet and that's okay. I'm sure I'll get there one day. But until then, can you please quench my thirst for praise? Free me if you need sad days, will you still love me? When I bring you C's and D's, I know it's not much, but earning them has brought me to my knees. And if I ever bring a failed fish platter, I beg you not to fill my head with laughter. For if I fail, just know it's the best I could do. I want nothing more than to please you. From the day I held my value in my grave, I've been demented in the game of charade, performing my brilliance on the stage, only to return back to my cage into my time and the spotlight is over, and I pray to find not pouring is over. The older I get, the more I see that worthiness comes from me, that I must be harvested and grown with the waters of love, that I must be held and alone, that I must weed out any need of perfectionism or doubt. When you see yourself as worthy, there is no need for clout. No matter the letters on the report card, my worth can never be checked. Thank you.
All right, y'all. Let me hear your house man. On beat. I know what that was a beat. Hey, all right. So our last poet, Unspoken, had a score of
27.
27. Applause the poet. And this poet, Kiki, from low to high, we have a 7.5. We move on to a 9.3 and a 9.5 again. That's a 7.5, a 9.3, and a 9.5. Applause that poet. And keep that applause going for your next poet in the first round, Vince. Go!
Speak my truth. A saying in the poetry world that means absolutely everything to somebody and absolutely nothing to somebody else. Speak my truth. An idea that I can say anything and somebody will nod their head to. Speak my truth. As I go back and forth in my mind, spiraling to think of something worth my time to speak my truth. But what is there to say when the writer's been stuck on writer's block, left to decay? Speak my half truth. Trying to grab it at loose ends, to put something together so life feels special again. Speak my half truth. Write a couple things that you know the guy will go crazy for when you say, speak my half truth. Splash water on my face as I take a sigh and recite the 3 same damn poems to get through my day, speak my half-truth. Look around, read the room, take a deep breath and speak my lies. Speak them into existence. And I know that I've written a couple of good things, but still speak my lies. As that clock strikes 9 again, and all I have is this poem for how I can't write again. Speak my lies. Let them tickle your mind. Let them soak in your skin and take up all of your time. Speaking my lies. And understand why. Talent is something that you can't rush, but my brain is on one big flush and my thoughts are to be shushed. Maybe my life is at a crossroads. Maybe my life really isn't that interesting to be unloaded onto my Google Notes. Maybe I'm just in need of an antidote because I'm stuck. I don't know what else to say, I'm stuck. I know I'll make it out one day. Thank you.
Hey, this is the first song I ever heard Lupe Fiasco on, and it's my favorite rapper of all time. All right, y'all. So we're gonna do a little game. We'll get some energy stuff, right? I'm gonna introduce something to y'all, right? There's a little game called this or that, right? So what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna shout out 2 things, and you all are gonna shout back to me which one of those 2 things that you like the best. Now the goal in here isn't necessarily to do the most shouting, but to do the loudest and most aggressive shouting. Right? I'm judging how much you like the thing, not how many people know, right? So we'll do test one. Let's go with I always start with ice cream. I feel like a lot of y'all have seen me a lot, so let's not start with ice cream. Let's start with Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole. Two weeks ago, y'all was at J. Cole. 2 weeks ago. Maybe before the heart. Kendrick Lamar or Chance the Rapper? That was a little different. That was a little different. We go back. All right. Our last poet, Kiki, had a score of
A 26.3.
26.3. Applause the poet. And the poet for this round, this side, from low to high, we have a 7. We move on to an 8.5. And finally, a 9.5. Again, that's a 7, an 8.5, and a 9.5. Applaud that poet. And we got applause going to the next poet in this first round, number 6. Not enough for men. Hey!
The first time that I was called a freak was on the playground in the 4th grade by a boy who told me he liked me. And I just walked away. He seemed surprised, like surely I hadn't heard him. Repeated it louder, said it over and over, I like you. I like you. I shrugged, said so, and kept walking. Then, freak, you're just a freak. How abnormal it must have been for this boy who by the 4th grade already knew that he owned everything around him, including me. Unusual. This idea that a woman could own herself, her body, her desire. This is certainly not the message that I received in my abstinence-only sex education class there. We watched a Christian youth pastor stick clear packing tape to the arm of girl after girl, compare their sexual activity to the skin cells clinging to the packing tape, told them they were dirty, said this is why the relationships don't stick. make no mention of the boys shedding cells into all of the girls around them. Atypical. At 16, I never had a boyfriend before. My friends told me that any boyfriend was better than none. You could always trade up like job applications. Boyfriends always looked for relevant experience. 3 of my classmates that year found out they were pregnant. 2 of them left school. 1 of them remained to watch the growing of her belly and the growing of the rumors that spread about her. None of them mentioned a thought. Like somehow this 16-year-old girl had created a baby by herself, isolated. Like how it feels for an entire school to know you lost your virginity and judge you for it, right after they pressured you into it in the first place. Irregular. Like my period from time to time, or my heartbeat, or my self-worth, or my ability to look myself in the mirror deviant. Like the look on the pharmacist's face when I asked for a plan B, or the man whose cells were swimming inside of me was not the man that I wanted to create a human being with, much less spend 5 more minutes around it afterwards. This idea that a woman could want to have sex, but not want a baby. That a woman could own her sexuality without being owned by a man, or a pill, or a baby. How abnormal. Like the cells that my gynecologist identified in my body. But sitting here in this crinkly paper gown, on this bed with protruding stirrups, I am too busy being relieved that the pregnancy test they forced me to take came back negative. I forgot I'm here to find out if I have cervical cancer, because the sad truth is, in that moment, I would rather have cancer than be pregnant. You see, there is a solidarity for cancer survivors that evaporates in the face of unwed motherhood. Nobody donates for fundraisers for diapers or formula, so at least I'll rest assured that these abnormal cells can be scraped from my body in a procedure that will be so much less invasive than any boy who ever broke his way into my body.
Yeah, man. I want to say, after this first round, we're going to give y'all a light break. It'll be 5 minutes. We really need y'all to keep the light because we want to get everybody out on time, right? But during that break, I really want y'all to go over here and check out my homegirl, Sonia. Sonia has an awesome company called Sparkling with Sonia. She's selling paparazzi accessories. She has jewelry. She's just an amazing person in general. So make sure when we go on break, last 2 breaks, y'all go over there and check out some of what she got. Maybe post her on Instagram, but definitely maybe buy something because she has amazing things. All right, y'all. So with that being said, our last poet, Vince Vibes, has a score of
A 25.
25 for Vince Vibes. Not different poet. And this for Liz Crispy from Low to High, we have a 9.6.
Come on.
We move on to a again, it's a 9.6, a 10, and a 10 applaud that poet. Poet in the first round, Sinner.
Lady story. Lady thought she was Muhammad Ali. Fast as lightning. Hot like thunder. Everyone had a fear of her. Float like a butterfly. Sting like a bee. Nothing in this world can defeat me. Was her life story. Undefeated champion. Much success. You can see she was truly blessed. Tough skin. Born to win. Got everything that she wanted. Everything that she wanted. That's what started the tragedy. Now Lady has a new life story. Look like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Nothing in this world can defeat me until I caught that HIV.
Probably need to get a person to help people walk them down. All right, y'all. Everybody say, get free, poet. Hey, you know, I want to hear something funny? I can't read my own handwriting, and so when I first looked at it, I was like, Killer Cam. From Cameron? From you don't know nobody. Killer Cam is from New York, Harlem rapper. You see where pink birds. Nobody remembers?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So our last poet, Liz, had a score of 29.6. Applaud the poet. And this poet, Philip Ann from Low to High, we have a 6.9. We move on to an 8 and an 8.5. Again, that's a 6.9. And 8.5, y'all. Applaud the poet. Get free, poet. Get free, poet. And keep that applause going for your final poet in the first round. Right. So bad, I'm trying to say, it's so hard that
The thing about being half dolphin, half shark is that aquariums love you. When it puts you on display, one of your parts of your parents were a car wreck. Pieces of metal fragments sold together, parts of great pieces of you came from where, using the words dominant traits and excessive genes like the designer of clothing. Meanwhile, the wall just tried to resolve you. You were broken Rubik's Cube. Because no, science suffers an aberration, so I'm categories like fish hooks to hang on. The thing about being half dolphin, half shark is they don't know which hand to push in. Sharks see behind their teeth as though it won't make sense once those numbers add up. Dolphins listen to your bills and wonder why is your nose so flat. They'll try to speak to you in clicks and whistles and always sound like clicks and whistles to you, and you secretly make fun of the size of your blowhole. Sharks will question if you didn't like them, or that's too much blood for your mouth to handle. You have to prove your evolution with every bite. Trying to play so nicely with humans because it looks bad. The sharks don't think there's too much dolphin in you. The dolphins, well, don't think there's too much shark in you. They can have to smoke in your eyes and you shoot too loudly. The thing about being half dolphin, half shark is that you learn how to be alienated from both classes. How not to belong to anything because you were born not to belong to anything. You try to remember that your parents birthed you out of love, not permission. You try to remember that labels aren't meant to label as laws concerned, not yours. But the thing about being half dolphin, half shark is that humans only like you behind glass. You see, people can't handle contradictions. When you see fangs, they need walls to keep you in. This is you as threatening, not satisfied, that's your conformity. One of the Fiji songs you say, once John, ready to serve, but still, you become the nightmare you want to be rid of. Men swimming on the issue without asking permission. They start imagining a neighborhood with seal cages and birds, you circling, they make meals of them, they think they make good meals. Don't know they smell spoiled catfish. Don't know you want for saltwater, for ocean wood stoppings from their incessant slashing. But the thing about being half dolphin, half shark is people see what they want to, forget what they want to. We'll make it a main course if it feeds them. We'll make it a star attraction if it pleases them. But no matter how they tax you, you must remember you're not really half anything. You are whole everything. You are the stuff of legends, the myths they tell, because that's what humans do when they don't understand something. You become Kraken, Scylla, Charybdis, you become Bigfoot, blurring out assumptions, you become beings rising from the ashes of their disbelief. You must remember that legacy is a way to leave, not the Romans, the bipeds never ventured in the shallows of their own people. Bipeds scream and shout and march and burn, but never use their voices to echolocate the truth in the dark. But the thing about being half dolphin, half shark, the most important thing about being half dolphin, half shark, you must remember about being half dolphin, half shark, is that you decide what that means. If you don't, someone will do it for you. Making you a freak, mistake, a traitor, or a fake, it will shove you in the smallest container they can find, smile, wait to be wrapped against the side. Deny your very inheritance is the ocean that the sea runs through your veins, but it does. But it is. You are a colossus, a road standing between continents. You are a bridge in a world filled with walls. You are enough. So don't ever let anyone tell you different.
Man, these poets are going ham. I'm supposed to be on diet, so I can't make any stuff all the whole first round. I was like, you know, judge see me doing that, they're gonna be like, oh, that must be a good poem, man. Anyway, so with that being said, our last poet, Phila Ann, has a score of
A 23.4.
23.4. Applause the poet. And this poet, Ray, from below the high, we have a 9. We move on to a 9.2. And finally, a 10. Again, that's a 9.2, and a 10, y'all. Y'all, you have made it past the first round of our slam for the night. Clap for yourselves. So, what's going to happen? After this round, we're going to do a little bit of tabulating of scores. We're going to say goodbye, unfortunately, to 3 poets, and then we're going to come back in our next round. The top 5 scoring poets of that first round are going to come back and give you a second poem. And then after that second round, there's a final round with our top 3 poets, and it's going to be awesome, y'all. But before we get into that, we're going to go ahead and do a little break, 5-minute break, y'all. How many minutes? 5 minutes, won't be short. We do have some food set up over there in the next room. We also have some libations, but please make sure y'all come over here and check out Sparkles and Sonia. Again, we got to show love to our vendors because our vendors are a big part of why we can put this show on. So if for nothing else other than because we want to continue to support poetry and what we're doing here, please go check out our vendors, y'all. With that being said, DJ Scorpio Vision, take it away! Quick warning here, we're turning the lights on. As we start the second round of our poetry slam, y'all. Pretty please. Return to your seat. We are going to start the second round of our poetry slam in approximately 2 minutes. Be there. Everywhere.
Sound, yeah, sound, we about to get down. When I was just in the world right now, just sits down and London town. Better they give me a pound. I'm put the money in my hand right now. Set up a motor, we need more. We just sold out all the floors.
For the second round, or maybe you're over here like, man, I need to get on that Sparkle with Tanya. I just eyed a beautiful piece that she had. Don't worry, we'll do another chance for that. Are y'all ready to get the second round started? Oh, I love that energy. All right, first So this is, at the end of the day, as much as we love all the poets who come up here and share their stories and their voices, at the end of the day, this is a competition. So unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to 3 poets, but please clap it up and show mad love for Scylla Ann. Clap it up for Vince Vibes. And clap it up for Vaughn the Poet. That means in the second round and in this order, we have Liz, Ray, Unspoken, Kiki, and Kennedy. If y'all ready to get the second round started. Hold on. We do have all of our judges. I think I'm missing a judge. Okay. Couldn't see the votes. Gotcha. Okay, anyway. If y'all ready to get the second round started, let me hear you say ding, ding. Ding, ding. And please, clap it up for your first poet in this second round, Liz! Birthday! Woo!
I wrote my first suicide note at the age of 13. By 15, I had composed an entire notebook. My 10th grade English teacher thought that I was troubled, and no number of parent-teacher conferences could find a solution. See, I was mourning a loss I hadn't yet identified, struggling with an identity I didn't yet understand. Tell me, what does it mean to be a woman? See, men have continued to call me girl long past the development of breast or first monthly bleeding, like, hey, baby girl, how you doing? Or, damn, sweet girl, you looking fine. And this only taught me that I was property, something to be wanted, coveted, owned, and I was not my own. I was reaction to teacher criticisms or response to parent punishment, deflection of unwanted attention, but really, just craving for self-fulfillment. See, when I was 6, I measured my self-worth in fireflies, blanket forts, and kisses from my dad. At 8, I wanted to be an Olympic equestrian, but somewhere along puberty, I lost those dreams. See, by 16, I exchanged fireflies for desire shining in boys' eyes, blanket forts for some spindly teenage arms, and daddy kisses for foreign lips of approval. By 17, dreams of Olympic gold medals had morphed into hazy nights spent clutching beer bottles. By 20, I didn't even know me. 2 boyfriends, 2 broken hearts, and too many mouths. Later, I was spending my value on salt and tequila, unrolling body shots on bar tops and letting Captain Morgan steer my decisions. So tell me, is this what it means to be a woman?
All right.
Where satisfaction is found in the meeting of lips, the pressing of hips, the probing of somebody else's fingertips into places that I didn't know of mine to begin with. See, this nubile body was built for pleasure. Its curves meant attempts, so temptress I became. See, by 22, it was all a game. I could score free drinks with the best of them. Whisper smiles in the ears and strut through VIP entrances. My eyes were dropping promises my body could never keep, so by 23, the game caught up with me. See, I was the only one getting played. It seemed no matter how many men I laid, there were too many empty spaces in my body I only filled with self-hate. Too many shadows chasing me as I chased them, wanting nothing more than to be wanted. And since the age of 13, I have been slowly killing myself with these beauty magazines as blades dragged up my wrist, or push-up bra straps wrapped around my neck, fumes of perfume and synthetic desire choking my breath. My manifesto became my poetry. It is the only suicide note that I've ever left. So somebody tell me, is this what it means to be a woman? So gone is the glow of fireflies. And if I could only find that blanket to cover this skin, if Daddy ever knew where this mouth has been, well, it's probably why he stopped giving kisses years ago. Because since the age of 13, I've been mourning the loss of my ability to ever be a woman, and now at 35, I am struggling to decide if I could ever just be.
All right.
Everybody say, get free, Paulie. after the first round. Are y'all having a good time? Y'all sound like you are. Y'all show a lot of love to these poets. I appreciate that. I do want to say, just so y'all know, the winners of tonight, the top 3 poets of tonight, they get a free entrance into our next month's slam. Next month we are doing our quarterly slam. Now what the quarterly slam is, it basically takes the top 3 poets from 2 months, from the previous 2 months, right? Those top 3 poets, there's going to be 6 poets total, and it puts them together, and now they have to slam, but they have to write new poems, because they have to write to a theme. They're not allowed to repeat any of the poems that they use in their qualifying slam, and there's a 1-minute round to kind of switch things up. So it really keeps them on their toes. Now the winner of that slam, which is next month, the top 2 poets of that slam, they get free entry into our grand slam at the end of the year, which is our big poetry slam, to determine who is the best slam champion in the city. So, just to keep y'all updated on what's going on, what's at stake for these poets, and why they're going so damn hard up here, because they're going hard, ain't they? Oh, yeah. All right, y'all, with that being said, this poet, Liz Priestley, from low to high, we have an 8. We move on to a 9.8 and a 9.9 again. That's an 8, a 9.8, and a 9.9. Applaud that poet. But keep that applause going for your second poet in the second round, Ray.
Note, the term ginger refers to someone with red hair. Gingers are the worst. I mean, don't get me wrong, being ginger, no, just don't ginger on me. I mean, I'm not terrorist, but I wish you wouldn't throw it in my face. I wish you weren't so ginger in public. I mean, how am I supposed to raise my kids when these gingers are everywhere? I mean, having gingers in the military disrupts unit cohesion. I mean, I'm all for progress, I just don't want one of them as my doctor. I mean, sometimes these gingers are just asking for it. I mean, wouldn't you be angry if the person you dated didn't tell you they were ginger? I mean, we should build a wall to keep these gingers out. They're all rapists and murderers anyways. I mean, it's not a ginger ban, it's just enforcing existing laws. I mean, you shouldn't comply. The officer has a tough job, that ginger should have known better. I mean, what's the point of having a red stepchild who can't teach them? I mean, if you don't like the genes, go back to where you came from. I mean, why must be so different? I mean, typical, I mean, scary. I mean, I'm entitled to my opinion. Hashtag all hair matters. I mean, freedom of speech, listening to all sides, even the ones trying to murder you. I mean, nobody talks about ginger on ginger crime, do they? I mean, can you hear it? The igniters clicking hit to the propane kisses and the resentment, can you feel it? Charcoal anger drafting down your neck, your fear trying to scratch your smile like a tinderbox when you smell it. The slow burn of a rage simmering beneath smirks and knowing glances of smoke coming off their polished ears. And you see the pretext building, combusting with every syllable, pressure mounting until it explodes at a nightclub, at a church, at a synagogue. You see the fire being started. You know it's not the flames but the smoke that's most likely to kill you. The poison's inhaled like oxygen, trying to claim your life. It'll slowly filling every school, office, courtroom, wandering into detention centers, backseats of police cruisers, so that you can't even see where it started. Everything hacks and stings. If you let a fire burn because it's not your neighborhood, are the fumes someone else's problem? Are you an extinguisher or wind to fan the flames? Have you gotten so used to soot, the scent of gasoline that make you retch? Even when it's from forged of friends, from family, from the former fucking president. When the forest fire is a punchline in their jokes, you laugh along, and with a spit in their eyes, and lower zippos in their pockets, are you a good person because you didn't light a match? Or all you little sparks and killed the dead with. You chastise oversensitivity with a flint mouth during a drought. You think fire only obeys you. Are you blind to the truth that you two are kissed by ginger flames that have changed the wind to bring the blaze to your door? You know what you do when you say these things? Because I'm beginning to. Because people make gingers all the time. Arsonists who never claim the fame but just sit back and blame the charge for being easy kindling. I mean, gingers should learn to speak American. I mean, gingers just living off welfare. Pick yourself up by your bootstraps. When will you gingers get over slavery? When will you gingers stop playing victim? When will you gingers accept God? You gingers. When will you realize that nobody is really ginger and everybody is really ginger? That it doesn't have to be you or them. If you stop drawing lines between you and them, when will you realize that what you say actually matters? That what you speak is flammable? When will you stop watching the embers floating and help us put them out?
The nigga
I work with kids, so I'm not that good at it. Our last poet, Liz Priestley, had a score of
A 27.7.
27.7. Applause the poet. And the poet from this round, Ray, from low to high, we have an 8.2. We move on to a 9, followed by a 9.9. Again, that's an 8.2, a 9, and a 9.9. Applause the poet. And keep that applause going for your third poet in the second round, Unspoken.
I was born bi, cultural. My dad always hated that I was part Puerto Rican and did everything he could to make sure I only identified as Cuban. He's always hated anyone not like him, which is why he got mad when I dated a black girl. He said it wasn't racist, he just didn't want his grandkids to be bi, racial, because then they would look like him. He said they look too much like their mother, then described his imaginary children with a word you should never use when talking about your grandkids. He says he's tolerant, but I've heard his hate speech, which is why it hurts so much when my little sister told me she's bisexual. And I told her not to tell her. Because while she shouldn't have to hide who she is, she's safer in the closet than out on the street. I wish I could tell her she's being overdramatic, and he'd understand that he'd love her anyway. But you never know with him. He's bi. Totally. One minute he's a loving father, the next an abusive tyrant that's ready to greet you with a closed fist and used with open arms. He refuses to get treatment because it would mean he's not perfect. So until she can leave, she's at the mercy of the highs of his love and the lows of his hate. His episodes are manic, her depression is tragic. She doesn't deserve a father like him. He doesn't deserve a daughter like her. A brilliant young girl trying to figure out what kind of woman she's going to become, forced to hide that woman away from the same people who told her they love her no matter what. She doesn't understand, but I know better. I know he'll turn his back on her in minutes. And the same mother who said she'll always protect her baby will choose him and leave her baby by herself. So for now she has to hide a secret I'm grateful she shared with me. I didn't have anyone. At least she has me. And someday, together, we'll look him in the eyes and say, bye.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Scorpio trying to make me dance. You see, he knows the secret music that always gets me to dance. Afrobeat is that's the secret. All right, y'all. Our last poet, Ray, had a score of
a 27.1.
27.1. Thank you again, Jen Christian. Applause the poet as well. And the poet of this round, Unspoken, from low to high, we have a 9. We move on to another 9. Finally, a 9.8. Again, that's a 9, a 9, and a 9.8. Applaud that poet. And keep that applause going for your penultimate poet in the second round, Kiki.
Why will the weak wreck those full of wonder? The pain pounds on my chest like thunder. Why must men manipulate my memory, burning holes in my mind the third degree? Fully believe they bend and break, but they can't make my spine shiver and shake. But their taunting never seems to age, but I will no longer retreat to my cave. I've spent too many years waiting for a more pleasant tone. And when I look around for one, I find myself alone, weeping and wiping away my tears. has brought me bitterness and bad years. My intelligence insults the imbeciles who are interested in interrogating. I will no longer allow them the pleasure. One's dignity may be assaulted, but it can never be taken away unless it is surrendered. Michael J. Fox. So I'm done dealing with downers, call it a detox. Weaponized words formed for me shall not succeed, for my heart is firm and shall not bleed. Their sharp words shall become dull when they reach my ear. Their degradation cannot be used as a spear. Verbiage powerful enough to strike down men will not take me, nor are they strong enough to turn me easily. Wicked words do not bring fear in my soul. You may give me hatred, but you shall never reach your goal. For no weapon that is formed against me shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. In my mind is a supreme machine. Tainted tongues who aim to tear me down will be bewildered when I fail to frown or break down or drop my crown. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. William Ernest Henley. And when the day of judgment comes, I shall be careful.
Y'all have been incredible. You're showing so much love to you folks. But I do feel like we have some unfinished business, right? We left it at Kendrick and Chance. I don't remember where we left it off. Kendrick Lamar or Chance the Rapper? I feel like Kendrick got it. Okay. All right, I'm going to throw y'all a curveball for this one. Kendrick Lamar or Lauryn Hill? Can't be classics. All right. Our last poet, Unspoken, had a score of?
A 27.8.
A 27.8. Applause the poet. And our poet from this poet who just went from low to high, we had a 7.5. We move on to an 8.5, and finally a 9.3. Again, that's a 7.5, an 8.5, and a 9.3. Applaud that poet. For your final poet in the second round, to clap it up for Kennedy!
We've seen it all throughout history. Fights over countries, claims, and crowns. Nothing is more important to a person than his crown. Because a king knows his power, and a princess knows his chains, knows his chamber and his darkness before she even knows her name. See, I grew up knowing you as royalty. And whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it becomes the right of the people to alter or abolish it. I escaped it. In the bloodiest battle I've ever been in, I took the crown from you. Hold it close to my chest for the rest of my life. Prove that you have no power over me or my identity. Fly flags out windows so everyone can see that this is the way that I've always been. The way that I'll always be. I just love a little differently. Pretend it's got nothing to do with the images you burned in me. Our founding fathers, after dealing with tyranny, saw all monarchy as a catastrophe. And I point no fingers. But sometimes we elect the wrong representative in fear of repetition. Turn a blind eye to all men out of association. Say this has nothing to do with him. Stay locked in this tower while no man give him no power. I promise myself that I would never write a love poem about a man. Because I promised myself that I would never again be overpowered by a man because I stole his crown. And admitting that he changed the way I saw myself for years would just be surrendering. Like wearing a robe but never ruling over anything. Maybe I have never ruled over anything. Consider this my letter of resignation, handing the crown back to you. Because if loving freely means admitting that you scarred me into thinking I only love femininity, well, so be it. Take this crown, wear it high on your head, and know that you have absolute power. You are the king of everything. everything. Royalty's so strong, I still submit to you in my sleep, but when I wake, I know who I am. I identified as a lesbian for years, and I cried when I had my first crush on a boy because I didn't want to give you that. But maybe I don't want a throne without someone to sit beside me, so have a back. Have pride in the fact that you taught me how not to love before I even knew what the word meant. And I'll take pride in the fact that my body is big enough, kind enough, warm enough to love both women and men. And yes, I was born this way. It doesn't matter how many sword fight scars still stick to my skin, my inside still standing. I know that you still have some power over me. But you have no hold on my identity, my bisexuality. I mean, I got twice the amount of love inside me, more than you'll ever be able to carry. And when I remember the story of the king and his stepdaughter, that love will carry me throughout the latest hour. But when you remember the story of you and your stepdaughter, you'll have no one to hold you but your crown and the darkness of your tower. So why don't you tell me, which one of us really has the power?
Man, thank y'all so much for coming out tonight. I feel like I shout out every single person except for us, ourselves. We are Grow House Tampa, man. We are an arts event company. You can follow us on Instagram. We have a website. Our Instagram is Grow House Tampa. Our website is growhousetampa.com. And we do more than just events like this. We do a haikus and art event. It's a brunch event every third Sunday where you come and do haikus. We have featured poet, and we have incredible visual artists who set up their art. So it's a cool spot to just come out and enjoy your Sunday with us and enjoy some poetry, and maybe write some haikus or whatever. It's really fun, and it's free. You don't even gotta pay to get in. But we also are working on creating open mics and workshops. And this next month in June, we have our quarterly slam, right? Fourth Saturday. Next month, so don't forget about that. But a couple of days before that, on June, I can't remember the date off the top of my head, but the Thursday before that, final June or final Saturday, we have an event called the Rap Slam. So it's kind of like a poetry slam, like this, same setup, but instead they're going to come up here and they're going to rap. Like the first round, they'll have 1 minute to rap a cappella. The second round, they'll have 2 minutes to rap over somebody else's beat. And then the third round, they'll have 5 minutes to do whatever they want. Same elimination style, we're going to do judges, but it's a part of the Tampa Bay Beat Weekend, which is one of the biggest producer events that happen in the city, the festival. So I want to stay tuned for that, but you can stay tuned for all of these things. We are trying to grow community, we grow culture, and we want to help creators grow. And so we want to build with that, man. And so with that being said, I got to shout out my man Curtis Davis. Curtis Davis, that brother did so much work behind the scenes, man, and I always got to shout him out. Also got to show love to Gemini Fox. Christian is also a member. We have Unique in the building, and we got Scorpio, who are affiliates to help us out. And we also have other codes, but I can't be biased, so I'm not going to tell you their names right now. But they are in the sun. But outside of that, I just want to make sure that we highlight that. So follow us on Instagram, stay tuned to our website, and we'll have some more amazing, awesome events. But I feel like y'all are like, that sounds good, Dennis, but we want to know these guys' game scores. So what I'm going to do is, the last poet, Kiki, had a score of
a 25.3.
25.3. Applaud the poet. And our poets from this round, our final poet of the second round. Y'all made it through the second round, man. Clap it up for that. I was glad. From low to high, we have a 9. We move on to a 9.5 and then a 9.6. Again, that is a 9. 9.5 and 9.6 for Kennedy. Applaud that poet. And so what we're going to do is we are going to do a little break. We are a little closer to the time. We try to end at 9 o'clock. We may end a little bit later, like 9:30 today. But that's not, is that cool with y'all? Y'all want to finish this last round of the slam? I love it, man. Thank y'all. Y'all support and energy is crazy tonight. So thank y'all so much for that, man. It helps us poets a lot. But yeah, so we're going to do another break. We're going to do about 5-10 minutes for this break. Yes. Oh, but we are going to turn the lights on, so we careful for that. Watch your eyes. You don't want to hurt yourself. Please go ahead and check out Sonia Sparkle with Sonia. She's selling paparazzi over there. If you want to grab some food, we got New Heights Catering. There's also drinks, libations, snacks up at the front with Jody. And yeah, man, talk to each other. And we're gonna have DJ Scorpio Visions take it away, y'all. And thank you.
The judges are great. But if you want to call, I was going to call you up before we started the third round to talk about LC's rate of night. Only because we're late. If you weren't behind on time, I'd be cool. We could do that together. But yeah, I want to try to do it on time. Because we have like but yeah, I'm going to call you up to talk about
Oh, What is
Alright, y'all. We are going to go ahead and get back to our seats so we can finish this final round of poetry slam. We do got to wait for one of our judges. They're shopping. They're shopping the podcast studios. I won't bug them too much. I don't think they can hear me. Can they hear me? Oh, yeah, they hear me. But we are going to go ahead and start in 2 minutes this final round of our poetry slam. 3 poets are going to be going to see who is the greatest poet of the evening. They're all the greatest poet of the evening, in my opinion. Also, I want to give a shout out to these judges. Y'all got judges fire, bro. I love solid judges. 80 poets. Actually, so one thing at Grow House that we also believe in is we believe strongly in supporting other organizations and other businesses that have something to offer towards what we're doing. Like we grow creatives and we grow culture, but we also want to grow community. And so I want to give a little bit of time to somebody who is really doing incredible work as a black entrepreneur in the city, y'all. Please clap it up for Ybor!
Yo, how y'all doing? Yo, I've always wanted to go inside the ring, man. I used to be like a WWE fan.
That's okay.
Alright, anyways, hi, my name is Lakeem Matthews. I'm the owner and founder of Creative Lounge. At Creative Lounge, we embrace the art. We strive to change the phrase starving artists to star artists by opening up our facility to artists, creative minds, and business alike. We're all about collaboration, not competition. And we are a multi-collaborative space where we offer services in garment printing, graphic design, paint commissions, mural commissions. We have a music studio, EMP music production, and we also have an entertainment space where we host a lot of our events. One of our common events is called every third Wednesday of each month. We have our third Wednesday open mic, right? And tomorrow we have our fifth Sunday creative pop-up event. So if you guys are looking for something to do tomorrow, please come out and support the vendors. It's an urban market event. We're gonna have so many different vendors gonna be out there, and I would love to see y'all beautiful faces. And if you guys please follow our page. Pull out your phone. Pull out your phone. Anyways, follow our page at LTM Creative Lounge, and we'll follow back. Thank you.
Thank you, team. Yeah, y'all. That pop-up tomorrow is dope. They're going to have a bunch of dope local vendors who are going to be selling different crafts and different items and foods and things like that. We're going to have performers, entertainers. And like I said, man, they're incredible. They do awesome things. You hear all that stuff that they got in their place, man. You know how many artists are going in there and getting their whole life and getting their whole career ready? So, man, clap it up for them one more time, y'all. LTM Creative Lounge on Instagram, man. Uh-oh, the lights are down. Y'all know what that means.
All right.
Round 3!
Woo!
I need my clipboard. So, with that being said, y'all, first of all, clap it up. We are in the third round of our poetry slam for the evening. With that being said, we are going to have to say goodbye to a couple more poets as we shore up this final round, y'all. Please clap it up and show some love for Kiki. Also, Kiki has a business that she does. It's called Kiki's Custom Creations, and I just completely remembered that I did actually forget the jeans I was supposed to bring in. But Kiki Custom Creations, she literally paints whatever design. What?
Customize with Kiki.
Customize with Kiki is the actual name of the business. So Customize with Kiki, she paints customized whatever you want on your articles of clothing, man. And she's really good at it. Right. So if there's anything special that you want, she can have you looking fly, original, you know, something that nobody else can get. So make sure y'all hit her up, man. So yeah. And then we're also gonna say goodbye. Please clap it up for Kennedy! Kennedy's already got a spot for our Puerto Rican slam next month. So with that being said, our final round is going to consist of these poets in this order. Please clap it up for Liz, Ray, and Unspoken. So if y'all are ready to get this final round going, let me hear you say, ding, ding! Ding, ding! Y'all, clap it up for your first poet in this final round, Liz!
Get free.
Lights twinkle against crackling fire and the blush of wine on my cheeks. My nieces lay sprawled across my gut, full of my sister's homemade fudge. I am safe in the mouth of family, counting my niece's freckles, toes, fingers, and the moon as it wanes. Our time together wanes too, and my joy shrinks. See, the riddle remains unsolved. How to break our generational curse of 3. See, for 3 generations, the women in my family have come in 3. My grandmother, my mother, my aunt, my mother, my sister, me, my sister, and the blush of girls, she grew too. You see, this is when the fear takes root. The statistics don't shrink from the truth. It weighs heavy in the gut. 1 in 3 women know violence, sexual or domestic, as regular as the phases of the moon. The irony, how 2 sets of 3 all know the way that blood sits heavy in the mouth. It feels like satire in triplicate. In women, mouths heavy with stories told and untold. My grandmother, my mother, my aunt, my mother, my sister, me. Too many new moons hang heavy in empty skies. Too many lives stricken at first blush and us, unable to keep the mouths of the world from swallowing my niece's whole. Gut-wrenching to learn my oldest niece at 6 had already shrank from the greedy fingers of a 5th grade boy offering shrink-wrapped candy to kindergarten girls to lift their dresses and close their mouths that night. I sobbed in the shower. Knife wound of reality got deep. My sister, Susanna, Emma, my mother, my sister, me, us 3, unable to shield our babies from the blushing truth of greedy fingers or angry palms stalking the moons of our family. Bodies laid bare under full moons. Bodies full of bloody moons and mouths shrunk. The last of us untouched by violence is soon to be found. Her joyful face blushes with the hope of 3 generations, hands and mouths folded in prayer, prostrate in spell, be the 2 and 3 who flees the cycle, who guts the curse, who trusts her gut and not the lies of men told under new moons. My sister, Susanna, Emma, let the weight of the curse shrink from the power of their mouths. Let it fade in early evening blush as the sun blushes the horizon and gutters on this history of violence, still bloody in our mouths, the moon waxing until it and the violence with it shrinks at the power of 3.
All right. Yes,
Everybody say get free, poet. Get free, poet. That's what we're here to do. Audience, y'all have been getting free with your love all night. Thank you. I'm trying to free y'all say love. 1, 2, 3. Love. All right. Our poet, our first poet in the 3rd round from low to high. I should also mention that this round was clean slate. So the last 2 rounds will determine who gets into the final round. And now this final round should determine by itself. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up. Awesome. All right, y'all. So our poet Liz has a score from low to high, 9. We move on to a 9.6, and then another 9.9. Again, another 9, a 9.6, and a 9.9. Applaud that poet. And keep your applause going for your second poet in this final round, Ray!
I'm not saying you're racist. That would be silly. You're not a whites only sign, you're dripping lead paint on knotted wood perched above a restaurant door like a scarecrow from civil rights. No. I'm saying you enjoy the house special. The waitress has already memorized your order, the owner reserves your seat weekly, greets you with a camera shutter wink and a Cheshire smile. Your initials are hand carved with one of your favorite foods, memories box stepping down the aisle, standing alone so you can't see all the places you're not willing to make for others. I'm not saying you're a bigot. Of course not. You're not a Dodge Challenger with bifurcated bumper, plowing protesters in Charlottesville, exhausting breath and 2-stroke fury, snarling and skinning at the slightest provocation, unyielding as a Confederate statue you refuse to see torn down. No, I'm saying you enjoy the ride. The gas pedal feels flush against your heavy foot in the engine roars like a banshee, but makes whispers of freaking bystanders that you long to own one, but at a reasonable price, 40% off sticker or a 3/5 compromise. A fuel-injected rush of power, turning radius of a gunshot, everything reduced to speed bumps and green lights. Who needs speed bumps in their lives? Wrecking your suspension of disbelief. I'm not saying you're a Nazi. That would be silly. Not like you're some kind of concentration camp, a garbage pit of misery and lost dreams, the stench of death tinted with bitter almonds and despair, walls of razor wire like bared teeth, emaciated, forgotten, slipping into the oblivion of your mouth. No, I'm saying you live upwind in a subdivision so you don't have to smell bodies. Your house is well insulated against the sounds of family snapping and children begging to be held. Keep the police on speed dial in case you spot someone and Frankie next door. And some places are built for throwing lives away. You don't look for them, but you vote for them and never have to think about or concentrate on them again. I'm not saying you're the Klansman or Proud Boy marching down the street as a specter for white retribution. I'm saying you're the police escort. You're not the Molotov cocktail thrown into a monster at the Starbucks that replaces it. You're not a shooter in a black shirt with a buy one box of bullets and get a Happy Meal sale. I'm not saying you're racist. I'm saying evil only triumphs when good people do nothing and you're the nothing. What came first as a stumbling block, a stumbling block history. Gather up enough stumbling blocks, you can make a wall that keeps out immigrants. You can make a school that can't teach about slavery. A police department that's never held accountable. You can make internment camps, jails of tears. You can make a nation. A rotting mess of interconnected parts that's unwilling to look itself in the mirror. I'm not saying you're evil. I'm saying in the equation of life, you're just a benign remainder in someone else's final solution.
Our last poet Liz has a score of
28.5.
28.5. Applaud that poet. Well then. This is tough. All right, hold on. Our poet Ray from this round got a score of, from low to high, we have a 10! A 10! In the final round, y'all. And y'all, you got the applause going for your final poet in this round and this night. Clap it up for Ybor!
Rob has not performed any poetry tonight. As a matter of fact, Rob won't be performing poetry ever again. That's because Rob's been harboring a secret he doesn't want anyone to know. Rob hates poetry.
All right.
Well, Rob hates his poetry. He feels it's pretentious and self-serving, and he can't bring himself to believe in his words. That's why I'm here. I am unspoken. I am every thought he had as a child that he kept to himself because he was afraid of the beating that might come if he opened his mouth. I am the rage he felt after he wasted 4 years of his life working 80 hours a week doing his boss's job, only to be told he would never move up. I am the voice that spent the last decade whispering in his ear, reminding him how weak he was for not pursuing his dream of becoming a writer. And when he met a poet walking down the streets of Ybor one day, I'm the one that stopped, asked about spoken word, forced 3 shots of whiskey down his throat, and made him start writing again.
All right. Yes, sir. All right. Yes, sir.
I'm every deep, dark, intrusive feeling he won't tell anyone about. Not even himself. Thoughts denied and words decried because they may not be popular or fashionable. Thoughts and feelings that demand to be thought and felt. Words that demand to be spoken.
All right.
Words that we all share because like Slim Shady, there's a little bit of me in all of you.
Okay, then.
I'm the part of you that you refuse to acknowledge because it hurts so much to remind yourself that you've been ignoring me for so long. The part of you that remembers who you were before you lost yourself to compromise. That stood steadfast and strong when everyone else backed down. That roars with the power of conviction. While the rest of you lingers in complacency. I'm the part of you that stands on this stage speaking truths that you denied yourself for years until the thought that you locked me away burst with raw power and passion the moment you picked your pen up and put it back to paper. I am that resilient, rebellious, resolute fighter who refuses to fade away because try as you might, you can't forget yourself.
All right.
I am unspoken.
Unspoken.
And I will stay silent no longer.
And keep it going for yourselves. We are through this whole round. What a night, man. What a night. Y'all, these poets brought it. These judges made these poets bring it. I just want to shout out y'all judges, man. I'm a fan of good judging. And y'all were incredible. Y'all were consistent. Y'all were on point with it. So thank y'all so much, judges, for judging. And thank you, audience, for being here. I'm so charged. I kind of want to do another extra round just to see more poetry, but we don't have the time for that. Maybe we can do a cipher or something afterwards. I don't know. I'm really excited about this. Y'all did incredible job. Talk about these poets one at a time. Every single poet. Yeah. All right. So let's get to it. Our last poet, Ray, had a score of 30. Clap. Applaud the poet. And this poet, Unspoken, has a score from low to high. We have a 9.2. We move on to a 9.5 and another 9.5. Again, a 9.2, 9.5, and 9.5. And our amazing scoring timekeepers then will tabulate these scores so we can figure out where everybody is at the end of this. But man, oh man, y'all, did you learn something tonight?
Oh yes.
At least one thing. Did you feel something tonight?
Yes.
Did you see a new perspective that you may not have thought about before?
Yes.
You feel like you can leave here being a little bit better in the world tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Then we have done our job. Thank y'all so much, man. Continue to follow Grow House Camp on all these things, man. Continue to follow Signature Punch. Continue to follow all of these poets. Talk to them after this thing. But I'm getting into like the final spiel, and I haven't called them up to decide who's the winner yet. So we should probably figure out who's the winner, y'all. And we can have our top 3 poets. Please join me back on this stage. Man, oh man, what a slam, y'all, what a slam. I'm going to use my other mic. All right, y'all. So we have our 3 poets here. Please knock it up for them one more time. So these 3 poets have now secured a spot to the quarterly slam, which is happening next month on this Saturday. Right here at Signature Punch, and they're going to be not forced, but you don't have to compete. But if you want to compete, we're going to put them to the test and have them write some new poems, something fresh, come with a 1-minute poem, and really put their poetic skills to the test, so we can determine who's worthy to make it to that Grand Slam at the end of the year. So y'all have won from that, but now let's determine who is the winner of the night, y'all. So coming in 3rd place, with a final round score of 28.2. Please clap it up for Unspoken!
It means a lot to be up here. I want to thank everyone else. I want to thank Grow House and Signature Punch. I've been doing this every month since January, and at first it didn't feel that great. I wasn't doing too well, but I've done a little bit better every month.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you all for being a part of my journey, and I want to thank you all because today was the day I officially became Unspoken. You guys can follow me on Instagram at An Unspoken Poet. It's An Unspoken Poet, 3 words. 1 word, 3 words. So I want to thank you guys again, and I'll see you next month.
Awesome, man. All right, y'all. And with that being said, coming in 2nd place with a final round score of 28.5 out of 30. Please clap it up for Lily!
Thank you so much. I'm also, when I'm not here, the executive director of an organization called Purdue State. So if you like what you heard here, and then if you want to hear this, like plus even more amazing, like no shade y'all, but really. And if you want to hear young people who are 19 and younger, or if you know a person who is 19 or younger and would like to get on a mic like this and not have to worry about adults like these all in their space, come out to Heard Him Say It the last Friday of every month at Uptown Stage inside University Mall. Check us out online, heardhimsayit.org. Thank y'all.
This is also a good friend of mine. Thank you, man. Coming back with us, man. I was fun fact. I was actually me and Liz been on slam team for so long. When you did that second poem, I was like mouthing the words to the poem, like with the song and stuff. It was pretty cool. All right, anyway, that brings us to our winner for tonight with a final round score. And I think I have to double check. This may be our first ever perfect 30. Right? With a final round score of a perfect 30. Coming all the way from Orlando. Clap it up for Ray!
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate your guys' appreciation, your love. I just want to say thank you to Dennis, and I hope you guys understand how lucky you are to a place like this, have moments like this type of community. It doesn't last. It doesn't always last. Places come and go, and we've seen what can happen in the world. So take a moment, any time of night, and understand what you see happen tonight will only happen once. It will never happen again. And that's the beauty of this. So enjoy it. And thank you again.
Keep it going for Ray, man. Ray's an amazing organizer. He got something just like this out in Orlando. So thank you for coming all the way. It's funny because I was like, man, he came all the way from Orlando, so I want to make sure that you have some gas money to get back. And then he won the slam, so now he's $180, man. So, but yeah, clap it on for our champion and for all three of these amazing poets who graced our stage tonight. Man, thank you so much. What Ray said is real, man. You know what I mean? Continuing to support these things is a powerful thing for our community, man. I feel like personally, in a personal opinion, we're getting to a place where we can't rely on the people in authority or in power to defend or protect us, or to look out for us, or to feed us, or to anything, man. And we have a valuable resource right here with each other, Mutual aid works. It's a real thing. It's a way to subvert the BS that is of the people above us, man. Look out for people. It'll come back to you, I promise, man. And I guess that's my lecture, man. I do want to say, if you're a poet out there, you're wondering about the slam, Rob is a great example of somebody. He just started about a year ago, and he's made it to a final stage already. That's a testament to what you can do and achieve on this stage. It could be a little tough sometimes, though, man. You know, these scores can be tough. You know, maybe what you thought was great wasn't great. But again, it's three unique, specific judges in one specific space. That does not mean your poem is bad. It just means specifically right now, those three judges didn't like it as much as somebody else's poem. So take that home, and I think that's about it, man. Thank y'all so much. Follow us. Oh, wait. Chris Davis got something to say.
Please, a round of applause for your amazing host and rep of the evening, Chris.
And that's about it, y'all. If y'all want to go ahead and check out Sonya before she leaves, we're going to be putting up some chairs and hanging out and laughing a couple of music, y'all. Follow Signature